It's Madmen Sports. Have the guys here. Myself, Jake, Zach, Diamond, Dave. What's going on, guys? The only L Dave has ever took is the L in his last name.
True.
Takes no losses.
Technically 2 L's in his last name.
How long have you been working on that?
A couple days. So what's going on, guys? It's a beautiful Thursday night. We just watched a little bit of, what is it, the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Zach is not a fan.
It's kind of boring for my taste.
I'm not a fan either.
I still stand Marvel, though, so I watch it.
Let us hear in the comments, what's your favorite Marvel movie?
What do you guys think of the finale? No spoilers, though, because by the time you guys see this, you probably would have watched the finale.
I am more excited for Mortal Kombat.
Tomorrow on HBO Max.
Okay, guys, who on the Bills roster would you pick for your Mortal Kombat fighter?
Who would have the best finisher? I would have to say, I think Deion Dawkins. We saw that video of him throwing that dude through the table. I would love to see a table as a prop during a finish.
I am shocked because you didn't pick the guy I'm about to say.
Who?
Scary ass dude, Lee Smith. I know he's not. I know.
He would just tear someone in half. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. That is one guy I do not want to see in an alleyway.
He goes out there just to mess people up.
Respect. So,
Fair enough. I would pick Dawson Knox.
just a stiff arm straight through the dome.
He would stiff arm you straight to the core of the earth.
So, let's talk about it. As we all know, the draft's coming up. What do we got? A week?
By the time this comes out, we are a week away.
So, obviously, it's all going to be draft talk, but we're gonna go through the Rolodex.
Less than a week away. Today's a week.
Yeah, we're gonna go through the Rolodex of draft picks by Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane.
We have Ryan Talbot coming up this weekend.
Ryan Talbot
Let's
this
plug that.
weekend.
Keep your eye out for a Ryan Talbot interview this weekend.
The man, the myth, the legend, close personal friend of the pod.
NY Up, WWE fan.
WWE fan. Dave, you're gonna shoot the ones with him a little bit?
What time is this going on?
Probably around 1 o'clock.
No clue yet.
I will not be in attendance, unfortunately. But
Well,
you could ask him a few questions for me.
What do you
if
want
you-
me to ask him? What's
List
your
of
big
questions.
WD questions?
And if you have any questions for Ryan Talbot,
If
leave
he's
it in the
acknowledged
comments.
Roman Reigns is the head of the table,
I'll ask him that for sure. That seems relevant.
and
What do you think about Mickey James? She got her stuff in a garbage bag today, man.
well, all she did was bring things. I can talk about this for hours if you really want to get into this.
Well, be ready for the Talbot interview.
I don't really.
So WWE released a bunch of people, not due to COVID. They do this every year, but everyone's blaming COVID, that thing going on in the world. And apparently, when they release people, they give them their belongings in paper garbage bags. And she came out with it. WWE did a mass firing today when they heard Mark Carrano, who's been with WWE for 30 plus years, was fired and taking the blame. Triple H and all the head guys acted like they had no idea it was happening, so they're dropping the hammer on it. All these ex-wrestlers are coming out saying, yeah, it's been happening for years. That's all. Other than that, do your own research, but that's what's going on. That's what Zach's talking about.
That's the biggest thing in the world right now. Do your own research. Like, guys, we got a draft in a week. I don't know if we've done enough research. I sure hope these guys have.
We know.
Quite literally, these guys. I hope they've done enough research.
Best in the business.
I'm still doing research right now on my phone.
Yeah, I figured you were doing something on there, knee deep into it all. So let's talk about it. McDermott's been around for this is his 4th draft. Sean McDermott, that is. All right. Well, no, he's kind of had some.
It's funny, McDermott 4, Bean 3.
Correct.
Yeah, that Doug Whaley influence.
Yeah, all right.
Which, if you have to go, I mean, I don't think Doug Whaley controlled that draft. But.
So I definitely don't think he did. But let's talk about this. So every podcast you're looking at is going to be, we think we're going cornerback. We think we're going wide receiver. We did that already. We're not going to hammer that home any further.
That's late news.
That's late news. We're up with the. You're looking for fresh Bills content. Dave's always willing to bring it. We got Carhartt Boy over here always willing to bring it. You got me always willing to try some new things every now and then. Finger two. Who cares? Let's talk about what's going on here.
What?
I'm always trying to.
We're talking about our winter hats because it's freaking May and we're still wearing winter hats.
Talking about something else.
No, I said 1 or 2 things. I'm always willing to try something. We're shooting the 1s or shooting the 2s. That's the thing.
Still sounds dirty.
Dude, focus. So this is McDermott's 4th draft. He's got a little bit of the luck of the Irish going on here. the grand idea right now that we want to talk about is what has been the worst McDermott era draft pick so far from the Bills? Because coming Thursday, coming Friday, coming Saturday, they're going to have a crop of new players on this team who could be the new worst. But right now, as we stand, who holds the title of the worst Bills draft pick in the McDermott era?
Why don't you go first for once?
No, I want Jacob to go first. I never go first.
And this pains me to say because I like the player.
Wow, you're going to say Josh Allen? What a
Yeah,
scumbag.
Josh Allen is just dog shit.
I agree.
No, don't cut that.
Cut it. Cut both of them.
We got to talk about the future of this podcast.
See ya.
It's Zay Jones. Huge player coming out of college.
He's still in the NFL, though.
Sure, but has never done anything for the Buffalo Bills. Quite the contrary. Last year, he had a couple catches. He was decent on the sidelines.
10 touchdowns career-wise.
Listen, saying that Zay Jones is the worst draft pick of the Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane era isn't a bad thing. I mean, he wasn't complete dog shit. Definitely didn't live up to any sort of potential coming out of college. And I don't think that – I think that's we're in a pretty good position when Zay Jones is your worst draft pick.
That's fair. I understand that. I understand
That's a good one, Jake.
If I had –
That's the easiest one. Let's be frank.
I
They
mean-
traded up for him. Juju Smith-Schuster went after him. There were plenty of good guys that went after him. That's the easy pick.
The biggest missed opportunity, though, is Wyatt Teller, for sure. Not the worst
Well,
draft
they
pick.
spoke their piece.
100% on that.
Yeah.
We dropped the ball on that
But
one.
listen, they drafted him.
Fifth
He's
round.
not the worst pick.
No, he's
an
not.
all-pro. You know
I
what I
would
mean?
say
It's an all-pro
one of
for the
better
Browns.
picks. Not
Yeah.
for
They
us,
have one of the
but-
best run games in the league now.
Yeah. And who cares about running games? If you're good at running in 2020, who cares?
You want to throw it to Davey?
Of course.
Davey Pod?
I was going to say Ed Oliver all week. I haven't been a fan of Ed Oliver at 8th. But I'm going to give him some slack here. Everyone's saying how Starr was on a team last year and he's supposed to elevate Starr at Oliver. I don't believe that hype. We'll see. So actually my pick is a little, I think, argumentative on your guys' part. Harrison Phillips. Third round pick, not third overall, third round pick from
They had a lot of
Stanford.
picks that year.
He's great in the community stuff. He's was up for the Walter Payton Award, but you know what? That doesn't win us. That doesn't win us shit. I don't think he's even going to make the team this year. Honestly, he'll be a training camp cut. He didn't contribute much this year. I'm going to say you expect more of a third round pick. I'm going to say Harrison Phillips.
You're going to ruffle some feathers with that pick. A lot of people love Harrison Phillips,
Well, you know, I don't care.
especially after like a brutal ACL injury.
Yeah, that's where I'll pretty much kick it off for that one. Harrison Phillips was surprisingly good his rookie year. Surprisingly good. Came in last year, started hot. First couple games looked great. It was probably their best defensive lineman in the first couple games. Blew out his ACL against the Bengals. He has not been the same player since. I would be remiss to say that I agree or disagree. I understand where you're coming from on the Harrison Phillips pick. I personally like him. I don't know if he makes the team this year. I think if it's him versus Justin Zimmer, I think
They're
I like
both
Justin
gone.
Zimmer. Who knows? I don't know about that. Unless they draft someone in the D line, which Ian Rappaport.
If you're Diamond Dave.
Yeah, Ian Rappaport tweeted that insiders have said this is the worst defensive lineman draft in a long time, which it could be. I don't know. You're watching the wrong podcast if you're looking for draft player breakdown of the defensive line from us.
Well, you got Butler, you got Starr, you got Ed. You're probably drafting someone. I think they're going to take Barrymore at 30th if he's there. That's 4 defensive tackles right there. Zimmer, why are we talking about Justin Zimmer? And Harrison
was on the
Phillips
team
won't be
last
on the
year.
team. So those are your 2 defensive tackle cuts.
You could say that, but they're keeping more than
Zach,
4
who
defensive
do you got? Yeah, I said 4.
Listen, the Bills have drafted insanely well the last 4 years. It's hard to find players that aren't still in the league, which is remarkable compared to what happened before. We have Tanner Vallejo, who was their 6th round pick in 2017. He's still in the league. I believe he's in Arizona or Cleveland. I think he's in Cleveland.
He's doing pretty well, too.
How about
Yeah, he's a
Austin
starter.
Prohl?
Austin Prohl, he's actually in Atlanta. I believe he's on a practice squad there. It's easier to name the guys who aren't in the league still. Voshan Joseph, I believe, is no longer on a practice squad. Daryl Johnson's a 7th round pick who Jake loves. He's got 2 career sacks. I mean, the list goes on and on of guys that are still
I like
in
him
the
too.
league. Still in the league, which is remarkable 4 years in. They don't miss. That's
impossible to miss.
They really don't miss, which is fantastic because, I mean, they have all pros everywhere. They have Trey White, all pro. They have Matt Milano, who should be all pro. They have, Taron Johnson, who's won an AFC divisional game for the Bills, put the team on his back. They have a franchise quarterback, Josh Allen. They have a returning franchise cornerstone middle linebacker in Tremaine Edmonds. Please don't get triggered. And then we have Ed Oliver, who still could be proven. He's got 8 career sacks in 2 years. That's not bad for a defense tackle. I know
he's right there.
Yeah, you expect more, but he's got 8 career sacks in 2 years.
Serene Neal is going to be important this year.
Neal's important. Isaiah Hodgins is showing us something. They got Gabe Davis, a 4th rounder who's got 7 touchdowns. I mean, they don't miss. So if you had to ask me who their worst draft pick in the last 4 years is, I'm almost at a loss. I'd probably say Jake Fromm. But that's just because I don't find a way where he ever proves himself to be anything more than a practice squad 3rd-string guy.
Listen, we all dropped the ball here. You know who was drafted in 2017?
Nathan Peterman, but he's still on an NFL roster.
But I would say that is the worst draft pick of all time.
He's actually on his 3rd contract.
Yeah, he's on his 3rd contract.
I don't think
he's richer than Josh Allen right now.
Listen, I don't think he should be. I think that is a gross misconduct
There's
from
something
the Oakland Raiders.
John Gruden and Mike Mayock love about that guy.
I don't know why. Watch the tape. I mean, are you watching his practice film and his preseason footage?
I needed to watch one game. That Chargers game was more than enough for me.
I think the biggest drop of Sean McDermott's career is naming him starter.
You know what I would say
I
the
disagree.
second?
Then what is his biggest ball drop?
I could go through that one first.
I would 150% agree with Jake. That was
naming him, but you needed a shot of adrenaline
at the time.
It wasn't bad.
At the time, we all agreed because there was a tough call.
I mean,
but also, you take the praise, you gotta get the beating too. That was a misfire in his part. And Peter McDermott has also said so himself.
Trading Wyatt Teller was the biggest drop of the ball.
Well, I mean, what did we get for him?
What
was the tough one?
5th round pick.
Yeah. Sometimes you make trades to do that.
Turned into what? 5th round. O'Shawn Joseph, right?
Their 5th round pick changed into Stephon Diggs. He was part of the Stephon Diggs trade.
So
that's why I say it's not the worst trade ever.
I was actually going to say my second one was the Bills drafting a kicker. That kicker probably would have been available in free agency.
Respectfully disagree because I love Tyler Bass.
No. Rewind and listen to what I said. Did not hate him. He would have been there in free agency.
He was a 6th rounder. He was a 6th rounder. What do you expect? Listen, he's definitely surpassed the 6th rounder, and he was the 2nd kicker taken for what it's worth. The Patriots already cut their kicker that they've drafted.
That was an ugly one.
He had some baggage.
Gross.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about it a little further here. Now, guys, worst draft pick. What do you think could possibly be the worst decision the Bills could make next week on Thursday with their 30th overall pick? What would be the worst? We've talked about what their worst in the past have been. What position would be detrimental besides quarterback, because we already don't need one? But if they went with a position in the draft, what would you be like, what are you guys doing? Drop a comment below. What position would make you guys throw your hands up in the air and ask what the Bills are doing?
Honestly, I think it would be trading up. The Bills are in a very unique opportunity, an opportunity they haven't found themselves in since the early 1990s. People say that the Bills are win now. I have to respectfully disagree. We're trying to build a dynasty here, a Patriot-esque type dynasty.
I would like to win now.
Sure, and we will. We made it to the AFC Championship team. I think we need to start stacking long-term viable options and not just try to go up and get a flashy
So you're
player.
a build depth guy.
I think so. I think that we have had our greatest success in the draft, and we need to kind of put all of our
draft without a doubt.
Can't put all our eggs in one basket to try to get a guy. I mean, if you absolutely love the guy, sure. I mean, it's going to be a head scratcher, but I don't think that there's going to be a scenario to where I'm going to be like, Bills, what the hell are you doing here?
Bill Bean said this week that they're drafting for the future. They don't necessarily need a starter for now. And that's a great thing. This draft is going to be the greatest draft we've had that we're able to enjoy in the past, well, maybe in the past 20 years, because we're usually stressed out and we're like, don't mess us up, don't mess us up. We know what the Bills are right now. They're a great team. So we can just sit back and enjoy whatever they want to do besides an offensive lineman. An offensive lineman is something I do not want. I like our offensive line. They spent a lot of time in the offseason re-signing our guys, restructuring some guys, and bringing some guys in that I don't know who they are, but I trust that they're good. So I don't see a need to bring an offensive line. I feel like we have our starters. There's no reason to get offensive line, even if you're building for the future. If you're going to build for the future, get a safety or a cornerback, even though I think Dane Jackson's the guy there. What I want them to do is get defensive line, but if you're going to win now, depending what they do. But you know what? The beauty is it doesn't really matter. Just sit back and enjoy, because unless they get offensive linemen, just enjoy the draft pick.
Personally, I hate offensive line draft picks early on in the draft. I think they're just very boring.
Yeah,
Pivotal.
everyone
Cody
hates
Ford.
Eric Wood.
Pivotal and very important, but I hate
Andy
it.
Levitre sucked.
Yes.
You get good offensive linemen in the first round.
I just hate it. I think it's
Except
such
Mike Williams.
I think it's a boring pick. And Ed Wing. Not the first round. Doesn't matter.
Stop saying Ed Wing tonight.
Just say things.
Wang.
Come on, brain work.
Aaron Mabin.
I think the worst thing that they could do, something that they would do that I have my hands up in the air saying, what the heck are you guys doing? Is
Donating their picks.
see, I'm going to say this.
To charity.
I'm going to say
Harrison
this,
Phillips
but
charity.
I'm going to say this.
Say
I'm having a
Say
hard time getting it out because I don't want it to sound the way I think it sounds.
Say no. Let it sound the way you want it to.
So I think the worst thing that they could do is have a player fall on draft night that would immediately impact their team, like a Devontae Smith. I get it. He's 170 pounds soaking wet. He won the Heisman Trophy. He's a national champion. Listen, I get he's a wide receiver, but you want to build for the future, you get a guy like Devontae Smith to play opposite side of the digs. So if I see Devontae Smith fall to like the 20th, 25th, 28th pick, and you know someone ahead of you is going to get him, you don't at least try to jump up. Listen, I'm not saying you don't, but if I see multiple top-end talent guys fall, and I know they can instantly impact this team, that would have me be like, what are you guys doing? Go get him. And that's the problem, because they are a win-now team, and they are a build-for-the-future team. But if you can move a couple picks to maybe get a guy that's going to be a cornerstone whatever, because they've fallen. Like, let's say Kyle Pitts, he's not. But let's say Kyle Pitts falls the 20th pick. Bills need a tight end. What the hell are they doing if they don't get to the 20th pick to get him, right? Is that wrong?
I have full confidence in what I'm about to say. You can't give up too much. It's got to be a smart deal. And I have every vote of confidence in the world that Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott will be able to make that happen. I'm talking about, like, giving up the house on a player. You don't need that. Yeah, no personal seat licenses.
They actually just stole the stadium rights to Highmark.
Highmark.
Welcome to the Mark. But listen,
you got to be smart with it.
There's just a handful of guys that would stand out to me that I would be like, what the hell, these guys dropping? Unless there's like a major check mark against this guy. Red flag, whatever. You got to go get him. I think you need to have an impact player that changes the franchise. Because listen, Stephon Diggs is 28, 29. If you can get in a fresh set, because this is a tight wide receiver class. Next year is a tight wide receiver class too. Cole Beasley's on the other side of 30. Gabe Davis, Devontae Smith, you could really build something there.
It's going to be interesting because we have zero clue in Isaiah Hodgins. Before the season, a lot of people were saying that Isaiah Hodgins was going to be better than Gabriel Davis. Now, looking at Gabriel Davis's rookie year, if that holds true,
good luck.
We're going to see something special. And we are going to get that dynasty-type thing that we were talking about.
I think wide receiver is the least of our worries right now. I think we're perfectly fine.
Give me all skill position players.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
what's
care.
the worst? You get a running back that can catch like ETN or Harris or Williams, or you get a tight end that can catch like the dude at Penn State, Notre Dame, Kyle Pitts.
I have to say this because it needs some sort of representation from this sect of fans. Give Christian Wade a shot. We don't need a running back. We got Christian Wade.
Jake just said that for all the fans out there that ask constantly about Christian
Facebook.
Wade.
And listen, I'll even go as far to say this. Let's have a little running back talk because it's back-to-back weeks and we keep talking about running backs for a team that passes more than anyone else. So let's talk about it. Would you rather have Moss, Singletary, Wade, Beretta, or an actual good running back like ETN or Harris?
We don't know
care
if they're
about running
good.
back.
You don't need to know if they're good. I can guarantee you they're better than what you have right now.
Brandon Beane, or specifically Brandon Beane, was talking about how both Singletary and Zach Moss are not home run hitters, which is slightly telling.
Smoke screen
saying
season.
that a week from the draft.
I don't think it needs to be a smoke screen.
It is very much smoke screen
Everyone
season.
knows they're not home run hitters. One of them runs just as fast as David, and the other one's Zach Moss.
David is pretty fast.
Thank you. Matt Breida is nothing more than a TJ Yeldon type player. He's not going to see the field much.
Exactly.
I think Zach Moss.
Go get a home run
I
hitter.
do believe the Bills are going to get another running back, but I don't believe it'll be in the first 3 rounds, and I don't think it needs to be in the first 3 rounds, and it might even be after the draft.
Hear me out. This is a quote from Zach. Running backs are a dime a dozen.
They are.
So,
100%.
let's talk about that specifically. Do we need to spend first round capital under the guise of running backs are a dime a dozen, and historically, not just specifically under the Bills, Brandon Beane, and Sean McDermott? We've had really good success picking up running backs in later rounds. Do you think we give up that much capital?
I don't think the Bills lately have had success picking up running backs in the later rounds. However, I will pivot on this and say running backs are a dime a dozen, but every now and then a dime is a little bit shinier than the other. And I think if you can get a playmaker, a home run hitter, dime a dozen, then you're working with something on a rookie contract running back.
Well, what I know is that Zach Moss got diamond in the rough twice this year. Speaking of dime a dozens,
Highly
we
coveted.
could 100% upgrade running back position. I do think Zach Moss is the guy going forward, and I also think he'll have someone next to him, and that guy next to him isn't on the team yet. I think Singletary is probably gone. I could see Singletary. Well, and this is another discussion we can have. Is any players on the Bills being traded this week, or are we trading for any players from another team? The only person I think on this team that could be gone is Singletary, but you're not going to get much out of him. Maybe a 7th-round pick. You're not going to get anything out of him. The question I want to ask you guys is, it's going to heat up a little bit in the next couple of days. Zach Ertz, is that a possibility? Is that happening?
I think it's interesting. They're picking what? Are they a top 10 pick?
Whomst.
The Eagles?
They traded to get. They have 2 first-round picks, but
I think they're.
we're not trading
12th?
a first or second for Zach
I
Ertz.
believe they have
No,
12th.
certainly not. Especially because all teams were scared off of Zach Ertz with the asking price during free agency.
And that will change because they are going to have to get rid of him. So is it us doing it?
Bill Barnwell from ESPN did an article today or whatever, or a piece on trades. Nothing but trades all draft. Just different scenarios on draft day that could happen. Let me run this by you. Y'all. His trade for the New York Giants was the Giants get 107 from Detroit. The Lions get 111 or first round 11th pick, second round 42nd pick from the Giants, and second round, I'm reading like a moron. Second round 61st pick and tight end Dawson Knox. The Bills would get the 5th rounder 153 and Evan Ingram. If you had to give up just Dawson Knox, get a 5th pick and Evan Ingram, and you get to keep the 30th pick, you would do that in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Evan Ingram's a very good player
You would do that in a heartbeat.
on a team with no quarterback yet.
Daniel Jones. You're not a Daniel Jones believer?
I think the Giants will be a good team, and I think Daniel Jones could be good, but he hasn't shown me anything yet. Remember his fumble or his fall when he could have got in the end zone?
I don't.
We all make mistakes.
Well, my question is, do any Bills players get traded this week?
I answered with my thought.
You answered someone's opinion. Do you think anyone's getting traded?
Yeah, I think Dawson Knox can get traded for Evan Ingram and a 5th round pick.
Jake, does anyone get traded?
No. If they make any trades, it'll just be for picks.
Isn't that a wild trade, though?
That's a wild trade. Almost probably not going to happen, but
Yeah,
I respect
we
it.
would have to give up something else for that.
Isn't that nuts? Like,
What about, do we trade for anyone besides Evan Ingram, you think, Jake?
I think if they do make a trade, it's for a tight end. I don't think they do it for any other position at the moment.
I don't see them like trading players in the draft. I think it'll be strictly picks.
Yeah, there's always hype and talks, and even since I was a child, there's been hype and talk
Never
about
happens.
so-and-so being traded, and it never really happens.
No.
Teams know that any player getting potentially traded is eventually cut, so they just pump the brakes and wait.
Yeah. So the only thing that would be, since Zach Ertz is still under contract, that would probably be the only scenario.
Yeah.
Or Evan Ingram. You could pick up his 5th year. Yes. You
A
could
couple
pick
weeks ago, we talked about 5th-year options. Is that any updates on that, Zach?
Nope. Brandon Beane did say that he will wait until after the draft to pick up both of their options.
So is it a confirmation that they're definitely picking both of their options up, or in the event that they were going to pick up their options, that's going to wait until after the draft?
I am not Brandon Bean. I have no idea what he means by that.
I didn't know if he elaborated or anything.
He did not.
Okay. So what's next, guys? You want to shoot the shit a little bit?
Let's do something different that we could maybe start exploring a little bit further if we get some reaction.
Cryptocurrency.
No. Let's do a quick little draft for the fans and for us.
Who's our best fans? Are we drafting Madmen sports listeners?
I pick Blackburns.
I picked
Blackburn,
Sewell Sharif.
Scott Blakely.
I like them all.
We love them all.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even.
They're all.
Where do I start?
They're all first
Richard
overall
Perks.
picks.
I mean, yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my God. We have the best fans. The only
I read all their comments.
the only fans that matter.
I got fucking
Listen to the only podcast that
I got
matters.
a Bigfoot anthropologist in my phone right now.
The homies.
Dude, they're all homies. I love them all. Can't pick them.
Raul.
Hippie Crack Snacks.
Hippie Crack Snacks. Big shout out to Hippie Crack Snacks. I'll be looking forward
Bill's
to seeing
mom?
a clip of this on his Instagram. Big ups.
Go Bills.
Logan on Instagram. Shout out to Logan on Instagram.
Logan on Instagram. Big fan. Like, not him of us. Me of him.
Big fuck you to Dickhead, though.
Yeah, well, we've hit him now.
Try commenting. Dave, you
I can't wait for you to read that back, watch that back, and look at you. All right, so let's do a draft. We'll do a fun little draft, 3 rounds. Last 20 years, the topic has been of this podcast, the worst Bills draft picks. Let's do 3 rounds. We each go one way or the other. We can rock, paper, scissors for who goes first, second, and third. The worst. Let's build the worst 3 picks the Bills have had in the last 20 years, since 2000.
let's try to immediately get fired as general manager.
Yeah, if make the worst 3 picks you can have. No doubles, can't duplicate it.
Okay.
You guys.
Is there a cap on what year?
Well, yeah, the last 20 years.
Last 20 years.
So from
I'm
2000.
picking 3 players.
Not at once, but yeah.
Not at once. You go one, and then someone else picks one, and then someone else picks
You
one.
can go first.
Nope, that's not how this works. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ah, shit.
I'll go first.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
I beat both your asses.
So we gotta go for third.
Should be best 2 out of 3.
Second.
I'd happily get the reverse. I get the last 2.
It's a shame because I have 3 in my head, but I'm gonna go.
We told you to be prepared.
I want to go Mike Williams.
That's an easy first pick.
That's
I like
a safe pick.
Yeah.
Call it the condom pick. Jake, you're up.
Oh man. I'm going to go with.
I really want to change mine.
And change it. Change it.
You can't change Mike Williams. You guys weren't prepared. I told you about this in the
You were
afternoon.
very bleak about all of this.
I said a
All you
draft.
said is a game.
Yeah. And you were like, I get to pick all 3. That's not how drafts work.
I want to say Willis McGahee, but I won't.
Whoa. Who's saying not Will?
James Hardy,
James.
Oh,
Second round
okay. That's a good one, Jake.
2008.
R.I.P. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Let's have some respect around here. What the fuck?
fine, Stevie John. I'm kidding.
No, James Hardy is a good one. I respect that.
James Hardy. Now, I get back-to-backs here.
Well, we never discussed a snake draft.
Oh, is it snake draft? I get Aaron Maben.
You guys gotta look this shit up. It's all up here.
It's all up. No, I'm writing down the picks so you don't forget them. Aaron Maben. And then where do I go from here? Do I stay in the first? We've been beating up the first round a little bit, except for James Hardy. It's a good pick. Where should I go? Oh. EJ Manuel. Jacob.
Adolphus Washington. Never, no opportunity.
Still staying in the second round, huh?
Those are some big misses from the second round.
I am going Willis McGahee because I remember how disappointing that pick was.
Willis, the worst.
Now, was the pick disappointing or was the player disappointing?
I remember watching in the room with.
that's
It's
what
funny
I'm
when
saying.
you watch Mel Kiper usually headlines guys that are fallen or big deal at the time because Willis McGahee was a huge deal coming out of the draft, then broke his leg in the Ohio State University game
against Miami.
And my older brother and I guess I have one, were watching, and we were like, don't do it, don't do it. They did it. Everyone was shocked. Chris Berman was shocked. We were shocked. No one said a word. All of Buffalo hated the pick. He ended up being okay.
Put McGahee on ice.
He hated Buffalo, but he ended up being an okay player. He had like 2 seasons here with those ugly-ass jerseys. So, yeah, Willis McGahee pick was awful.
You said you liked the white ones, though. I remember that. You liked the away jerseys for those season.
Well.
And then, David, your third and final pick?
Well, Zach said EJ Manuel. I think he was wrong with that pick because he's disrespecting how bad JP Lossman was. JP Lossman is that pick. Only reason JP Lossman was decent is because he had Lee Evans to throw the ball to.
I liked JP Lossman. He was asked to do a lot.
So I have Mike Williams, JP Lossman, and Willis McGahee. All on the same team at one point.
Yeah, expand your horizons. Try something different. What do you got?
I was thinking about going Ashton Yabuti, but
Big neck.
It's from Ohio State. What do you have against Ohio State? Indiana University, Ohio State, Ashton Yabuti, Ohio State. What do you got?
I don't know, man. I'm not a fan.
Fair enough.
We'll go Ross Cockrell.
He's still in the league, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Ross Cockrell
He is for the Washington football team.
I'm pretty sure Ross Cockrell is still in the league. What year was that? 2013?
Yeah, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Damn, he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's got a ring. He's not that bad.
Reconsider that pick, Jake, or pick Yabodi.
Nah, we'll go Ed Wang.
You've been waiting for that one.
Can't believe he fell.
I have a good one. So you're going Ed Wang.
Can't believe he fell.
We could go another round if you guys want. I do have another one. It's Cyrus Quandro. Second round pick, we all thought.
He was disappointing.
Second round pick, we all thought he'd be a little bit special.
Yeah, let's do another round.
He was flat out awful. All right, Cyrus.
We're going another round. You got to give him. It's a ramble for a minute.
We always have been. My pick, huh? My last pick. Get the first pick in the 4th round. Man, I mean, you could just hang out in the Doug Whaley years and find terrible picks. I mean, we're talking about CB Sanders being a bad pick. We all liked Tank Carter because of the name. I know who my pick is. And it's because of the repercussions that happened because of this pick. This player had 61 catches, 794 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was out of NC State. He actually played with the guy that we should have picked instead. TJ Graham.
He was super fast.
Should have been Russell Wilson. That's why this pick is so bad. And you're thinking Terrell Troop because it should have been Rob Gronkowski. Ooh, let me see if I can guess who Dave's pick would be. I'm going to guess it's Kelvin Shepard, but they took Jerry Hughes instead.
It's not Kelvin Shepard.
I have Carlos Williams. More of an unfortunate scenario. Didn't pan out to anything.
He was fantastic for a year, though. That's a hard beat.
Sure. But
Who did I just pick?
long term,
TJ Graham.
TJ Graham. Shout out to Corey Graham, by the way. Not a bad pick.
TJ Graham wasn't an awful pick.
It was an awful
What round was he?
3rd. They
Straight
should have
out of
took.
Buffalo.
They should have took Russell Wilson.
I'm talking about Corey Graham.
Yeah, we're talking about TJ Graham.
And I said Corey Graham. Shout out to Corey Graham.
You still are. I understand you.
Yes.
We're having a conversation about someone else. I think Corey Graham was a 5th round pick, if not undrafted. Yeah. So TJ Graham, you went with who?
Carlos Williams.
Don't love that pick. I saw him at Cedar Point once.
Or Colby Listenby.
Colby Listenby was a product of his environment. He shouldn't have been hurt that year.
Yeah, he had potential, that guy.
Terrell Troop. No one's going to take Terrell Troop.
Take him.
Stop mentioning that name because I was going to, but now I'm looking for a different guy.
You can mention whoever the hell you want to mention. I hated Marcus Easley.
Yeah.
Marcus Easley was a 3-time Pro Bowler, special team player.
Special teams. I hated him. He had 3 catches, 71
What
yards.
more
and a
would you
touchdown.
want out of a guy like that?
CJ Ayu.
More than one time.
I am going to say Terrell Troop because of the people that were surrounding him that we could have taken in the draft.
Rob Gronkowski.
And we took him from, I believe, the Central Florida. He just was not good. He, I really hope that Ed Oliver isn't following in his footsteps.
He's already better than him. So we're
Terrell Troop had a good year. His rookie year was solid. After that, he just completely fell off. He was not good.
Think about this draft. This was a bad draft that Terrell Troop was in. CJ Spiller, who I love. I know everyone doesn't love CJ, but I love CJ Spiller. Terrell Troop, Alex Carrington. Alex Carrington was big at blocking field goals. You remember that, David?
Yeah, he, I think, blocked 4 1 year.
Yeah. We have Marcus Easley, who I'm not a big fan of. We have Ed Wang. Jake's boy.
Arthur Moats.
Arthur Don't Cross the Moats. 16 and a half career
I
sacks.
follow him on Facebook. We're friends.
Same. Me and Arthur Moats.
I am not. I
Really?
am.
Sucks to suck though.
I am Facebook friends with Cedric Benson, R.I.P.
I'm
I used to
deleting
be a
him now.
Bengals fan. Not a Bengals fan. I used to be a Bengals hobbyist.
I do have one that's going to get an honorable mention.
Ooh, can I guess?
I don't think you will guess because it's good. It's a one that you won't guess.
Give us a little hint then.
He's still in the league. Played for a rival of ours for several years.
All plus Lesney?
No, although
Kiko Alonso?
Kiko Alonso.
Wow, dude, you suck at this game.
I don't think he was a bad
Kiko
pick.
Alonso.
Great.
I think we're missing the assignment.
Well, it's about hype, and he just was not.
He created the hype by being good, not because he was a hypest out of.
Oh
the
yeah,
second
he's got an
round.
attitude problem. He's a punk. He's a bitch.
He was none of those things.
Kiko
coming out of
Alonso,
college.
come on the pod to discuss Diamond Dave
He
calling
would
you a bitch.
Fucking murder you guys.
We have Lee
That's
Smith
actually a pretty
in our
decent
corner.
draft. If you look outside of EJ Manuel, they got Robert Woods in the second round, Kiko Alonso in the second round, Marquise Goodwin, who happens to still be in the league in the third round, Duke Williams, not that Duke Williams, the one that actually deserves to be in the NFL, Jonathan Meeks, who wasn't a bad defensive back out of North Carolina, or Clemson, excuse me. Dustin Hopkins, who's still in the league, and Chris Gregg, who I was a big fan of. Everyone loved Chris Gregg.
Yo, if you're watching Kiko, come talk to me.
Dude, he would murder you.
He doesn't know how to read, so he can't click on the title. He was pretty stupid. I'll give him
Fine, then I'll use him as
Are we
a
an
thumbnail.
anti-Kiko?
I'll put him as a thumbnail, Kiko, so you know. Just click on yourself, buddy.
It's just going to be the tail of the tape. Diamond Dave versus Kiko.
Can you make that happen?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a picture of you side.
We're not doing that.
I'm gonna fucking.
Kiko Alonso, he's got to be short, right? Oh, no, he's 6'3". I thought he was short. He looks short.
He's got white curly hair.
Wait.
Or blonde curly hair. He doesn't know how to wear a t-shirt or a jersey because it's always belly. You know, I don't like
Homie
it.
doesn't even know how to wear a jersey.
Yeah.
Damn, why am I numbered? I didn't know I was number
You
5.
guys know all I'm right.
You
You
respect differences.
being
on this
cowards
show.
for not saying anything.
Is he on the Saints right now?
Yeah, because not even the Dolphins wanted
I'm
him.
pretty sure he's out of the league. He hasn't played since 2019.
Yeah, you know who else in that league? Every other bitch that got drafted. He's a bitch.
Really?
Jake.
This pod's gotten off the hands.
Jake, take us home.
What do you want to talk about? Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
Jake, you recently finished watching Eastbound and Down. I brought you to the lake to just drink some water, and boy, did you jump in.
When did you guys go to the lake?
If you haven't watched Eastbound and Down, Danny McBride's greatest performance ever, you need to watch it. Do yourself the favor. Turn off Madmen Sports. This is the only thing I would
because we're
allow
done.
you to turn off Madmen Sports for.
Allow you.
Is Eastbound and Down.
All of America has seen it,
From
Jake.
False.
You
From
might be the last one.
From Stevie to, of course, Kenny.
It's me, Stevie Janowski.
Stevie Janowski.
You're fucking out.
Fucking out, buddy.
By the way, are we fucking out?
No. We're talking. Dave, we're talking.
It was a good segue to end.
You have a hot date, man?
How's Diamond Dave's love life?
105, it's almost time to go to bed.
Mine sucks.
It's almost time to go to bed.
Time to go bed.
Have you turned into a man who shall
Actually,
not
here
be
we go.
named?
When are we doing this podcast again? What's the schedule next week with the training?
We have a show with Ryan Talbot coming up this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Jake,
I'm always looking
Likewise.
forward to it. Personal friend of the pod. Of course, I'm happy to have him
What are you
on.
playing with?
I'm a big fan. Hands above the table. Come on, hand check. So we have a show with Ryan Talbot. We'll probably release it on Sunday, inshallah. Just put him the fuck down. You probably stopped recording.
Oh shit, maybe.
I mean, we're just,
We're good.
we're just
We're
rambling
good.
at this point.
Yeah, well, so we have a show that'll probably up on Sunday. Let's do one pre-draft, and if you're still listening, your opinion actually matters because you've watched this long. Comment below on whether or not you think we should go live for the Bills pick, or if you'd even watch going live with the Bills pick for us. I imagine that we'll do a show in some type post-draft.
It's gonna be late. That's
night
the
of.
thing.
It's not going to be...
Jake,
It sounds late.
It's 107
yeah, it
right
sounds
now.
late, but it's not going to be any later than this.
Late for the homies though, not for us. It's not gonna be late for us.
We'll have a show up.
They watch,
draft
they
night.
watch.
I'm talking live.
We'll have a show up draft night. Whether it's live or not, let it be. But we will make sure we have content for you Friday morning. And maybe even Saturday morning if the second round
Look how
comes.
cool that facility is.
I am the facility.
Damn, that was hard. That went hard. All right.
Take care, guys. We'll see you.
You're
Sunday.
fucking out.
Stop swearing at them. They're nice
We're-
people.